In today's tutorial, I am going to show you the easy method on how to make candy apple bows. But first, let me introduce myself. I am the DIY Queen Diva. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep updated with me and all of my videos on the weekends. I am doing an easy way on how to make candy apple bows again today. And I am going to cut my ribbon about 22 inches. You should have 6 bows. Okay. So what you do is you wrap the ribbon around your index and your middle finger twice. So you're going to go around your index and middle finger twice. So 1. This is about to fall off my hands. And 2. So 2, when you come to 2, you're just going to tuck it. Tuck, 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 stuff, stuff, stuff. You're just tucking it in between your index and your middle finger until it reaches the other side, and you just pull it out. Then you just take this flap and flap over. Then there's a little flap that sits on the right side, and you just take your ribbon and tuck it under the flap. Don't go over the flap, go underneath the flap. You're going to pull up and pull down. You may have to hold your thumb right there to tighten it up. And there's your bow. Now you just flip your bow over and you cut your tails. And then you burn your tips. I usually just bring my tips together. I need to cut these tips a little lower. I bring them together and burn the tips. You can squeeze the tips or you can push down with the scissors. Once you do that, you can fluff your bow. And there's your cute little bow. Okay, we have 5 more. So you make sure you have enough tail so you can grab onto when you're getting ready to. Just make sure you have enough tail hanging down. Okay. Wrap around your index and middle finger twice. So here we go. 1 and 2. Okay. At 2, you take your ribbon and you tuck it in between your index and your middle finger. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Stuff, stuff, stuff. All right. And if it doesn't pop out, you can just pull it out. You take your flap and just flap it over. Now you're going to tuck this ribbon underneath the flap that sits on the right. There's a flap, and you're going to tuck it underneath, not over, but underneath. So you're going to pull up. This is coming off my hands. So pull up to tighten the knot and pull down to secure it. You may have to do it a couple of times to tighten it, to make sure it's tight. There's the bow. You can fluff at the end or right now at the beginning. I just like to cut my tails. Burn my tips and fluff at the end. So you just take your 2 tips and you burn the tips. And you can take your scissors and press down, or you can, squeeze it. Okay, and you just fluff out your bows. And there's your bow. Okay, we're going to do the third one. You take your ribbon and you wrap it around twice, your index and your middle finger. Let's go. 1 and 2. So when you get to 2, you take this ribbon, you tuck it in between the index and middle finger until it pops out on the other end. If it doesn't pop out, don't worry, you just gotta pull it out. Okay. You're gonna take this flap, this ribbon, and just flap it over to form your bow. You're gonna take this extra ribbon. You're going to take this extra ribbon right here, and you're going to tuck it underneath the flap that sits on the right side, that little flap right there. You're going to go underneath the flap, not over the flap. So when you're tucking it, hold on. When you're tucking it, you want to tuck underneath the flap, okay? This is probably the hardest part in making bows, candy apple bows and treat bows. Pull up, pull down. If it doesn't feel like it's tight here at the knot, you may have to jerk it a few times to make sure it's good and tight. And there's your bow. You just cut the tips. Okay, you take your tips and you burn your tips. You're only burning your tips so your bow doesn't unravel. I'm going to take your scissors and press down, or you can take your fingertips and squeeze them. Okay, so now I'm going to take my bow and fluff it out. Here's your bow. Okay, so we're going to make a 4th bow. You wrap around your index and middle finger twice. 1 and 2. This is the easier way to do your bows. You're just going to take this and tuck it in between your index and your middle finger. Tuck, 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 until it pops out. Or you can just take the ribbon and pull it out. Once you pull it out, you just take that flap and flap it over. Just flap it over with this extra ribbon. You tuck underneath the flap, not over the flap, but underneath the flap that sits on the right side. And you just pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down until this knot is secured. Make sure that knot is not loose, because if your knot is loose, then your bow is loose. And then it will unravel probably before you cut your tails, because you have to wiggle this off your fingertips. I think I did this one too tight. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you cut your tips. And like I said, I bring mine together like that and burn the tip. So you just press down, you fluff out your bow. Sometimes it can get stuck in there and you have to just fluff it out. And there's your little cute little bow. A little cute bow. This red is the perfect color. You have the holidays coming up. Okay, this is bow number 5. Bow number 5. So you wrap. Make sure you have enough tail hanging down. You wrap around your index and your middle finger twice. So 1 and 2. Okay, you take your extra ribbon and you tuck it in between your index and your middle finger. And you flap over. And then you tuck this ribbon underneath the flap that sits on the right side. Go up, go down, pull up, pull down. Pull up, pull down, just really, really tight. Okay. Then take this off your fingers. Oh my goodness. My fingers are fat. Okay, so you want to take your tails and you want to cut them. Just cut your tails. And then burn your tips. So you want to burn your tips, bring them together and burn them. Need to turn on the air. Okay, so you want to press down with some scissors, or you can press with your fingertips to squeeze them. Then you fluff out your bow. Like I said, it can get stuck up in there. And there's your cute little bow. Your last one, number 6, so cut them 20 to 22 inches, and this is bow 6. Wrap around 2 times. 1 and 2. So now we're at 2. We're going to take our ribbon and tuck it in between the index and the middle finger. Pull it out. Take that flap and flap over. Take this ribbon and go underneath the flap that sits on the bottom right side. Pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down to make sure it's tight. I'm gonna have a hard time getting this off my finger. My goodness. Come on, bow. Okay. Cut your tails. Bring your tails together and burn the tips. Okay, after you burn your tips, you want to press down with the scissors, or you have the option if you want to just squeeze them together. Okay, so now I'm gonna fluff out my bow here. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Okay guys, I am done. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep updated with me and all of my videos on the weekends. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.